So our next speaker is Mr. Mova Alafani, Director of the Center for Regulation, Policy and Governance in Indonesia. Yesterday in the COAG session, many delegates highlight the importance of having different stakeholders involved in the global dialogue of water tenure. And one of these stakeholders is the private sector. So how can the private sector benefit from an improved understanding on water tenure arrangements? And can you please provide an example? Thank you.
Thank you for this important question. To answer, I'd like to start by referencing the United Nations Guiding Principles on Business and Human Rights, or the UNGPs, and the concept of human rights and environmental due diligence. The UNGPs established that businesses have a responsibility to respect human rights, which includes the right to water. Principle 29 of the UNGP specifically calls for businesses to establish grievance mechanisms for individuals and communities. Interestingly, the UNGPs define grievance as a perceived injustice evoking an individual's or a group's sense of entitlement, which may be based on law, contract, explicit or implicit promises, customary practices, or general notions of fairness of aggrieved communities. This definition is particularly relevant to water tenure arrangement, which often involve customary practices. Now, let me outline how the private sector can benefit from an improved understanding of water tenure arrangement. The first is enhanced due diligence. Understanding water tenure is crucial for a comprehensive human rights due diligence, helping companies to identify, prevent, mitigate, and account for how they address their impacts in relation to water use. Second is effective grievance mechanisms. A knowledge of a local water tenure arrangements will allow companies to design more appropriate and effective grievance mechanism as called for in UNGP Principle 29. This can include recognizing grievances based on customary water practices, so not limiting it to grievances only against formal tenure. The third is risk mitigation and harm prevention. By understanding local water rights and customary practices, companies can better identify potential adverse impacts and take preventive measures. There are no direct examples of private sector engagement with water tenure, as this is fairly new, but we can look at related initiatives that demonstrate the potential benefits. For instance, the Roundtable on Sustainable Palm Oil, or the RSPO standard, also include elements related to water rights. The RSPO define rights to include user rights for resources defined by local custom, which could encompass water rights and different kinds of water tenure. There is also another project in Indonesia which is related to emission reduction initiative in the Jambi province supported by the World Bank, which require parties to respect customary rights, such as the obligation to protect rivers and deep pools where fish gather and spawn, customary rules prohibiting harmful fishing practices, management of simple pipe water system from upstream springs. As said, however, these initiatives have yet to refer to comprehensive methodology on water tenure, but the concept itself has been recognized and practiced. Thank you.